One of the things I thought that was very silly that my grandparents said was, we feel sorry for the future because you children are going to be paying for water. And at the time I thought, Grandpa, not even 2 decades after he died, we're buying water.
So I wanted to talk about the river here. This water is the Belly River. It comes from the mountains. All the water species, frogs, beaver, otter, all different. It keeps going down. I feel sad. I hope the plants and trees never disappear. I hear they have a moratorium taking water out, and yet St. Mary's Canal, they get all the water, southern Alberta. Things have changed. Those trees, you see this big poplar? That's about 150 years, if not more. Lot of natural history right here. This used to have trees eroded, died down. All around was thick with brush. A lot of deer. And so we still fish the odd time. But summers, you see fish belly up. Not enough water, too hot. We used to swim over there. It's not even deep anymore. It goes up to the deepest part of your waist, you're just sitting in there in the water. And so everything connected to water. I know this river, and it saddens me, getting to be Rock Island. This was all filled with water. And I used to see it August start getting shallow, but now I'm starting to see it first part of July. Even though there's high snowpack in the mountains, by the time it gets here, just a trickle. And I feel sad for those fish. They're dying. Down here, the fish are dying. And the fish, they clean the water for you. It's almost like the fish and the water animals are the filters to clean the water.
Late 1800s, when some of the settlers and early explorers, some of these white guys first started coming here, they estimated about 150 glaciers in Glacier Park. So now there's about 25 left, and they're projecting that all these glaciers are going to be gone by 2025 or 2030. And so that's pretty scary because they provide water for us. It starts in Glacier Park, drains all the way, and it ends up in Hudson Bay.
It's not so much that, environmental changes happen. Like I was saying with this bank right here, this bench used to go out another 20, 30 feet, hooked up with this trail right back here. My kids used to all camp right along the side here. When it started flooding and it started eroding our banks, nothing was done. Nobody cared. But as soon as it went across on that side there, you can see all those rocks where they made a protective barrier. And you kind of got to scratch your head and say, well, why is that side more important than this side? This side belongs to the Indians. I guess that's my answer. What I want to say to my kids, my grandkids, I tell them, hey, this is as pristine as it's going to get. I was camped back here one time and I came out and there was a van parked over here. It had a water lab in the back and there was a technician that got off and I went to talk to him and I told him, what are you doing? He said, I'm testing the water. And I told him, okay, tell me, what are you testing for? And he says, oh, there's all kinds of germs, bacteria, beaver fever. And I told him, okay, so where do we stand? He said, from that bridge on up, water's pristine. This water will always be here for us. It'll always be clean for us. But once it gets beyond our borders, we have no control whatsoever. Just like Elliot said, as soon as you get off the reservation over here, they're branching it off. They're siphoning off the water, all these irrigation districts. Lethbridge area, they're always so proud to say the largest of irrigation districts anywhere. Irrigation capital of the world comes from this water.
The biggest change I've seen, and I've noticed in the last 5 to 10 years, is the water. They're changing. So that's one of the biggest things I could see. That really, when I'm down at the river, when I'm out, I always notice the water. It doesn't stay as long. The river goes down to a creek almost. Around this time, late August to September, October, it's just literally a creek. So the fishing ain't good. We used to fish from March all the way to October almost. Now we can only fish a few months now, a couple of months, right? They're just not like how they used to be when I was a kid. The fishing was better. We could fish pretty much up and down the river. Now when I bring my kids fishing, it's a lot different. There's a lot less fish, especially because we live on the St. Mary's River here.
I go through 4 of those jugs of water, and I don't know what I'm drinking. I don't know what the plastic's gonna do to me. So I'm going to enjoy my life. Whether there's pollutants or not, because, the way the newcomers came, they came with dollar signs in their eyes. They didn't look at the earth. They didn't look at the water. They just said, okay, how much money could we make here? There's this, there's that.
There's going to come a time when there might be a total failure in society. And I say to my kids, I say to future generations, get up here, learn what this land is all about. There may be a day you're going to have to come here and defend this land.
It's really the youth that's going to do it, right? In 10, 20 years, it's going to be them that are going to be fighting for the water, fighting for different things. So they need to know the land, and that's what I think that's the message that should be sent to them, is just get out there and know it, figure it out, learn it.
Today, we're all knowing from place the water, because we're seeing it, hearing it. That's what knowing from place.